from California, rapper A$AP Rocky declines a plea deal on the eve of the start of his trial. The rapper, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, is charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. The deal would have sent him to jail for 180 days, but he now faces up to 24 years in prison if he's convicted by a jury.
In and of itself does not mean that your client is guilty. That's the way we're going to deal with this, and that's the final ruling. I don't want to hear anything more about it. That's the end of the issue for now. Are both sides ready for the jury?
It seems like things are only getting worse for Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. Reports are coming in that Rocky is facing up to 24 years in prison for the 2021 shooting of his former friend A$AP Rihanna. This saga has been going on for over 3 years now, and for a while it seemed like it might get swept under the rug. But not only has the case gone to trial, it's looking pretty grim for Rocky. Rumors are swirling that his billionaire baby mama, Rihanna, might step in and settle out of court with REI to save him. But will that be enough to keep him out of prison? And why on earth did Rocky reject that tempting plea deal from the prosecutors? Let's break it all down. Fans aren't surprised by the speculation that Rihanna might use her wealth to keep Rocky out of jail, especially if he faces jail time. If that happens, she'd be a single mother of 2 toddlers under 3. Now that's something no one wants to go through alone. And to make things even tougher, Rihanna and Rocky have made it clear that they prefer to raise their children without much outside help. Rihanna even shared in an interview that when they came home from the hospital, it was just the 2 of them taking care of their baby, saying, "I cannot believe it. Essentially, from 1 person, I became 2. You walk into the hospital as a couple and leave as a family of 3. It's nuts." If Rocky goes to jail, Rihanna would be juggling 2 toddlers while managing her billion-dollar empire. Not an easy task. So it's not hard to see why she'd want to get him out of jail. But would she be willing to pay millions to do so? Here's why that price tag is so high. The case is serious. In 2021, Rocky had a fallout with his former friend, A$AP Rihanna. What started as a heated argument escalated quickly, and soon enough, Rocky allegedly pulled out a gun and fired several shots. While Rihanna wasn't critically injured, he did get grazed and sustained minor injuries. Instead, that wasn't the end of it though. This has become a major legal headache for Rocky. Adding fuel to the fire, REI's legal team is claiming the shooting wasn't a random altercation, but that Rocky actually set him up. They argue that Rocky lured REI to a secluded location under the pretense of settling things, but then came armed with a gun. REI's lawyer says, unbeknownst to Mr. Efron, A$AP Rocky was not just planning for a conversation. He arrived armed with a semi-automatic and intentionally fired multiple rounds at Mr. Efron.
For those who aren't caught up, A$AP Rocky is on trial for allegedly opening fire on a friend.
If that's true, it could change everything. Prosecutors could argue that the shooting was premeditated, not just a moment of anger. And with video evidence supporting this, things are looking bad for Rocky in court. The situation hit a peak in April 2022 when Rocky was arrested at LAX just as he and Rihanna returned from a trip to Barbados. The LAPD arrested him in connection with the shooting and released details of the incident. According to their report, a heated argument turned violent, and Rocky fired shots, causing REI minor injuries. Rocky was released after posting a $550,000 bail, but this was just the beginning of his legal troubles. By August 2022, the case had moved to court, where Rocky pled not guilty to the charges. Since then, the case has been full of twists, and it's far from over. Recently, a video surfaced showing Rocky pulling a gun on REI, even as REI was trying to get away. With all these developments, Rocky could be facing some serious jail time, unless a miracle happens. Interestingly, REI initially seemed open to settling out of court, but when he named a ridiculous amount, Rocky reportedly laughed it off. Some say REI was hoping Rihanna would pay up, but Rihanna wasn't about to let herself be played. According to Media Takeout, Rihanna wasn't going to risk losing her billionaire status over this. Now, with the case going to trial, Rocky and his team are saying they're ready to face whatever comes next. Their lawyer released a statement saying, "It's been a long time, and it's been hanging over Rocky and Rihanna's heads. We're anxious to get this behind him." Although Rihanna isn't directly involved in the trial, her connection to Rocky as his partner means she's right in the thick of it. In fact, during a recent hearing, the judge even asked how Rihanna should be referred to during the trial. The fact that they even brought Rihanna up in the trial and had a whole discussion about how to address her shows just how significant her role is in all of this. Speaking of the trial, Rocky made a move that left a lot of people shocked when he turned down a plea deal from the prosecution. According to reports, LA County prosecutors offered him a deal where if he pled guilty to one of 2 felony charges, he would serve just 180 days in jail, along with a 7-year suspended sentence and 3 years of probation. Considering that he could face up to 24 years in prison if found guilty, a 6-month jail sentence seems like a pretty good deal. On top of that, he'd probably only end up serving 3 months behind bars. Everyone assumed he'd take the deal, given what he stands to lose. But it looks like he's willing to gamble and take his chances in court, which is a massive risk. Especially since REI testified that Rocky didn't just aim to injure him.
The defendant or who his girlfriend?
His wife. I think it's his common law wife, Your Honor. They have
common
children
law.
together, so
Right. So I should characterize it as common law wife?
or just wife. It's fine. However you like, but yes, they're
No,
not. I mean, they're common law husband and wife,
I'll
they
call
live
her
together.
whatever you want me to call her. You want wife? Okay.
Your Honor, I think if they're not legally married, we prefer that she not be referred to as his wife and that she is just referred to as his significant other or mother of his children.
Are they-
My stomach, like towards like my head is a little Like, everything was happening so fast. So fast, you know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of...
No, he was looking for a spot to
Okay.
If Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened.
And you said as he was pointing it at you is... What did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that in an angry tone?
Yeah, he was livid.
ASAP, you a little nervous about the trial? How you feeling about the jury selection today?
Our cameras caught ASAP Rocky this morning headed into and leaving an LA court as jury selection began in his felony trial. The 36-year-old, who faces 24 years in prison if convicted, has pleaded not guilty, and today he rejected a plea deal offer of 180 days in jail, saying, quote, "I respectfully decline."
You concerned about rejecting the plea?
But apparently intended to take his life. It definitely seems like Rocky's in a tough spot with REI's testimony, which makes us wonder why he didn't just accept the plea deal. The risk he's taking is huge, and now fans are speculating if his confidence is somehow tied to Rihanna allegedly stepping in to help. Rumors are swirling that she might have pulled out her checkbook and written a hefty check to keep her man out of prison. While there's no concrete proof of this, it's not too far-fetched to think Rihanna wouldn't want to raise 2 kids on her own while Rocky serves 24 years in prison. Fans have been commenting, saying things like, ASAP Rocky should have taken that plea deal. It's not looking good for him now. And if Rocky doesn't take the plea, he's going to prison just like Tory Lanez. You're not above the law. Being with Rihanna won't change that. Others are more blunt, with one fan saying, he's about to risk years of his life for those endorsement deals. He's going to regret not taking that plea. It's definitely a hot mess, but I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the next video. Stay tuned to Lesh T for more updates on this crazy saga.